Oh boy, y'all know what day it is. It's Christmas Eve, so we have to do a Christmas-related segment to get us in the mood, in the Christmas spirit, to really solidify it on this most holy and jolly of days. So, I had to do a Christmas segment. I knew I did. But what politics segment could I possibly do that's Christmassy? And then it hit me. It was right there, staring me dead in the eye. The War on Christmas. So I did a little digging. I found a video from about 9 days ago from the Fox News YouTube channel about the war on Christmas and the left being behind it. And I thought, what better? There's literally nothing more perfect than for our Christmas stream than to react to a Fox News segment claiming the left is waging war on Christmas. What a perfect way to stay in the Christmas spirit, even while talking politics. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of low stakes fun politics too, so if this sounds like a good time to you, stick around. Leave a like and a comment if you want to support my stuff. It really does help a lot. Subscribe if you want to see more, and join my fan Discord if you want to be a part of fan community events like watch parties and movie nights. With that said though, let's get right into it. Without any further ado.
Would be so thrilled tonight. The Grinches are back. The left is ramping up its war on Christmas again. In North Carolina, Mrs. Claus has been kicked to the curb. A state lawmaker warned that one school district is promoting the book Santa's Husband, and apparently it tells...
That's based as fuck. But also, how's that war on Christmas? So for a decade, it's the left is saying happy holidays and trying to erase Christmas. But now it's the left is making Christmas woke? Wouldn't you at least consider this a victory that the left has embraced gay Christmas?
Tells the true story of Mr. and Mrs. Claus.
Is this approved?
Hell yeah.
Is this what you're telling the children to read? Is this okay in your guidance?
I'm not aware of the thing.
There's always some like white-haired, pale, pasty, wrinkly, saggy, fat, peering over their glasses halfway or more down their nose ghoul, grilling some teacher with a deep southern accent in every single clip like this. I'm not the only one who... It's always a guy like this. They've always got this thick southern accent just interrogating some teacher like, is this okay in schools? Is this what you're telling kids to read? Is this what you're teaching kids in schools? It's always some shit like that. And they've always got their glasses, just like this guy. Like, they're peering over them. Like some kind of 1980s school principal.
That book is...
You're the superintendent. You're not aware of what's going on in your school system? You don't know what's printed? It's trash. That's what good that is.
He's so... Oh my god, he's virtue signaling so hard there. That's crazy. Losing your temper and throwing something, that's your, like... I love how for these people, performatively having a tantrum is their form of virtue signaling.
Yeah, I like that guy. And now the school district is pushing it as one of its top picks for elementary school students. Meanwhile, in Portland, Oregon, officials refused to say the word Christmas at its tree lighting ceremony. Nice.
I doubt that's true. New York Post is not exactly the most trustworthy outlet. They don't tend to overtly lie, but they can also twist if they need to suit their needs. But, like, who cares that they didn't say Christmas? They were lighting a Christmas tree. There were plenty of people around saying Christmas, I assure you.
And comedian David Spade is calling out a mall tree lighting ceremony for doing the same.
I will say that Christmas is taking a little bit of a beating lately.
Why are you calling it a tree lighting ceremony? It's a Christmas tree lighting ceremony.
It is December. And I saw the other day there was a tree lighting ceremony for the Christmas tree in some dopey mall. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
But it said tree lighting ceremony, and they were careful not to say the word Christmas during the whole ceremony.
No.
I hate it.
I would guess the reason why they want to do that is because if you're not celebrating Christmas, but you still want to just take part in celebrating Christmas, more or less, like you don't necessarily do the buying presents, commercialism stuff. You don't necessarily believe in the Christianity aspect of it. You don't believe in Santa, but you like the holly jolly holidays. You like to go see the lighting up of the town. You like to look at all the decorations. It's fun. It's joyous. It brings color and light to an otherwise dark and cold time of the year. And if you want to go to maybe you celebrate a religion, or you worship a religion that, if you were celebrating a Christmas event, it might be not necessarily a sin, but it's just kind of a little bit of a taboo. So just not calling it a Christmas tree lighting ceremony makes it a little bit more approachable for people that are not Christian. Obviously, I think if anything, it would probably be Muslims that would appreciate a more agnostic sort of branding, if anything, because I think Islam tends to be a little bit more like orthodox and traditional about like not participating in the religious ceremonies of other groups. But that's obviously a pretty umbrella generalization, but I'm guessing that's the logic that is applied by Republicans and why they don't like stuff like this, because it does make these events more inclusive to demographics they don't like.
Happy holidays, personally. It's Christmas, okay? It's also say Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday. I don't know what that means. Here to weigh in, Clay Travis, Fox News contributor.
I like Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. That's my favorite. It's so simple, and it rolls off the tongue, and it feels... I feel like since I was a little kid, that's what Santa has always said when he's like riding off into the moonlight on his sleigh. It's like, "Oh, ho, ho! Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays!" You know, like, I don't know. I feel like that's always what he's been saying in all the Christmas movies since I was a kid.
Your Outkick founder, Clay. You know, the left ridicules conservatives for calling it the war on Christmas. They've done entire...
Yeah, it's super gay.
Send-offs on...
Yeah, no. Let's be very clear. They're so gay for that. They're so gay for it.
Conservatives over the years. Bill O'Reilly used to do a whole segment on The Factor about this. You know, the war on Christmas. I enjoyed it. But they do seem to have a problem with anything tied to Christianity, especially if you mention the word Christ. They seem to really go crazy on that.
Well, to be clear, the thing that the left goes crazy about is when conservatives evoke the name of Christ when trying to justify the least Christ-like things you can imagine. Like, when you try to say, Christ would want us to hate our neighbor. It's like, no. We do... Even non-Christians take a little bit of issue with that, because it's just so blatantly false.
They do, and first of all, Merry Christmas to everybody. I'm actually at a Christmas party right now, Laura, so I've got my green shirt and my velvet red jacket on here. Oh,
and of course, it's worth noting that any progressive Christian would recognize using Christianity to push hate as overtly demonic, and obviously any Christian that recognizes demonic behavior would oppose it. And I mean that literally, by the way. Like, the Bible doesn't really talk about, like, fire and brimstone demons so much as it talks about evil temptations that lead ones to greed, power. Like, holding power in a lot of senses is itself like being possessed by demons, according to the Bible. So wealth, power, influence, these things are kind of inherently corruptive and evil. And God, I mean, if you're a Christian leftist, like, it's not just that the right is against your politics, the right is also biblically demonic, which kind of probably adds a little bit more motivation to things, you know?
I legitimately stepped out. My co-host Buck Sexton is throwing it down here in Miami Beach. So I am in the festive spirit, as I hope many of all of your viewers are right now. And for any kids out there, make sure...
God, look at her face. I'm sorry, look at her face. And look at this fucking grody weirdo, too. Look at this guy. They're both so weird looking. I'm going to rewind a little bit just because when her eyes are open, because this is a bit purposeful. But look at her mouth, dude. I feel like if she ate something, the concept of it would be erased from existence. What'd that mouth do? Nothing good. All teeth.
As I hope many of all of your viewers are right now. And for any kids out there, make sure that you're working hard to get off the naughty list. You still have time. But look, I do think this is culturally a battleground that the left has decided they need to win. And look, this all ties in with a genuine distaste. I see it connected across all of left-wing views with the history of this country. And you know, and I know, and most of the people out there watching right now, understand this is the greatest country in the history of the world. And it was founded on the basis of religious freedom, but mostly by Christians.
I do like that he at least mentioned the religious freedom aspect of it. But no, America is meant to be governmentally secular. We're meant to have a secular government and schooling system, and we're not meant to have a state that pushes a religion on people. It's what many of our founding fathers fled from, and many of the initial colonists fled from, was many forms of religious persecution of many different religions. The fact is, in most of the world, you were not allowed to be most religions if you were in a country. Most countries established like an official religion, or at least had some that you weren't allowed to be, at least socially, right? Like you could be beaten in the street for being a Protestant in like Scotland, for instance, right? Or is it the other way around? Is it like, yeah, I think it's Protestants would just get like beaten in Scotland, right? Like there's violence against Protestants there or something like that. There's some religious like bullshit or something like that. That's gone back like a long time for being Catholic. Oh, it's the Protestants beating up Catholics. My bad. Yeah. It's like religious, even on a social level, religious freedom has always been very tenuous across the world. And America was founded as the land of the free. And one of the core premises of that is for there not to be an official religion and for there not to be any laws that restrict religions. And ideally, while they couldn't restrict people's right to have an opinion, I'm sure the founding fathers would not be thrilled that a culture would flourish in America that actively shames certain religions over others, essentially recreating that social lack of religious freedom that they fled from. We have in law religious freedom and secular government, but for the most part, but socially we don't anymore, or we don't at all, really. The fact is, though, America was not ever supposed to be Christian, because if it was Christian, if the founding fathers had founded a Christian country, America would have a bias for Christians on a government level. And the whole point of America was to create a place so free that not even religion could determine whether or not you're treated differently from another citizen. It wasn't so much that religious freedom was a core principle of America, but to create the America that they dreamed of, religion was one of the many things they had to make sure people would not be discriminated against for, and the law would protect you for. Obviously, this didn't include gender and race, but there was some wokeness there. You gotta admit, there was some wokeness there when it came to religion, at least.
And the celebration of Christmas is a huge foundational aspect of this country. Doesn't mean that we can't also celebrate Hanukkah, or we can't also celebrate other parts of the holiday season. But it does mean if you're lighting a Christmas tree, as David Spade said, you probably should reference the fact that it's a Christmas tree. That's the reason that it exists.
How schizophrenic and obsessed you have to be that you're watching tree lighting ceremonies and you're like, you've got your ear out listening for Christmas. You would never watch an event like that and notice organically that Christmas wasn't said once by any of like the leadership of the town or city. But you never notice that just by watching the tree lighting ceremony. You have to be actively watching and listening for them not to say it.
I do think one of the big legacies of the Trump era has been a pushback against this woke insanity. And they're actually terrified, Laura, because we're winning the battle when it comes to cultural supremacy in this country. Maybe for the first time, certainly in the 21st century, it feels like more and more Americans are proud of this country's history. They're proud to live in this country, and they're looking forward to celebrating a heck of a Christmas season.
Keep saying it, and eventually it'll come true. That's how reality works.
And I love all the posts of young people finding faith for the first time. Sometimes, they nominally went to church, and they're finding a...
Sorry to burst your bubble, ma'am, but statistically speaking, Gen Z is the least religious generation in generations. The only area where we've seen religion really take off if you want to call it that, is spiritualism. Like, while religion is kind of leaving with Gen Z in a large way, spiritualism has not necessarily. Like, there is still a certain level of belief and faith held by much of Gen Z, but it's not organized religion or really anything that Fox News would celebrate. But keep dreaming.
A real faith connection, not just during Christmas, but all year long. We're seeing this in New York. We're seeing this on college campuses with a return to the Christian faith. Some are reconnecting with their Jewish faith. Others are going to the Catholic, the Catholic Church specifically. So I think it's wonderful. I think it's a very, very positive thing. We talk about the negative a lot because it's cable news. But the positive really can't be overlooked here. But just to make you laugh, Joy Reid, I know you two share eggnog together. Joy Reid apparently has a thought about what the song Jingle Bells is really all about. She shared a video on social media claiming that the song was written by a Confederate soldier making fun of black people.
Huh. Wait, what's this plaque say? Are we going to read it? Jingle Bells, composed here. On the site stood the Simpson Tavern, where in 1850, James Pierpont, 1822 to 1893, wrote the song Jingle Bells in the presence of Miss Otis Waterman, who later verified that the song was written here. Pierpont had the song copyrighted in 1857 while living in Georgia. Jingle Bells tells of the sleigh races held on Salem Street in the early 1800s. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey. I don't know. I mean, is that what it's referencing? Races in the street? But, like, it doesn't sound derogatory, but is it referencing, like, white people riding sleighs through the street and are, like, terrorizing, like, I don't, like, what? Also, like, I guess this is post-Civil War era 1850s, so, yeah, I guess it would be, I don't know, it feels like a stretch, but, or 1850s is, or pre-Civil War, sorry, because it's, like, this 1870s, 1880s is when the Civil War happened, so I guess, yeah, definitely during the slavery era in the South, but I don't think this area would have been like a quote-unquote black area because it was like slavery times, like I don't think, I don't know what the logic is here that this was like a pro-slavery thing, like because it was composed in the South. Okay, that is a stretch. I'm not gonna lie. That is a stretch, man. I see where they're coming from criticizing this. I don't see where the logic is that Jingle Bells is racist. Maybe I gotta look into it more. I'm curious about it. I'll probably just dig into this a little bit off stream later, because I'm really curious if there's any merit to the idea that Jingle Bells was like a racist song made by a Confederate in the pre-Civil War era. Like what? I guess he wrote it in, what did it say, 1857, so like 6 years or 4 years before the Civil War would start, if I remember right.
A Confederate soldier making fun of black people. So it's a racist Christmas carol.
I mean, this is ridiculous. They've tried to take away every one of the Christmas holiday classics because they're just people who hate this country and they hate people being happy. And I encourage
this plan where James wrote Jingle Bells, but ignores its origins in blackface minstrelsy. Where does the plaque reference that, though? I gotta look into this later. I'm just so curious about this now.
Everybody out there to go celebrate, have a good time with your friends and your...
No, you know what? No, I want to know right now. We're just gonna find out right now. Is Jingle Bells racist? I gotta know. Is Jingle Bells racist? Despite backlash from the right, it's not black and white. When Kana Hamill wrote an academic paper on the popular Christmas carol's roots in minstrelsy, she was not prepared for internet trolling and Fox News fame. Kana Hamill aimed to shed light on a long-hidden history detailing the racist origins of a popular Christmas carol. Instead, the university lecturer ended up the target of right-wing trolling, and that we just saw a little bit of that, after her academic research on Jingle Bells was twisted into an example of liberal overreach. Hate-filled emails flooded her inbox. Hamill of Boston University told The Guardian, quote, "I was told that I was trying to ruin Christmas for children who weren't allowed to sing the song anymore and that I was ruining the Jingle Bell Festival in our town." Hamill had probed the origins of the popular carol, hoping to settle a friendly rivalry between Medford, Massachusetts, and Savannah, Georgia, over where Jingle Bells was written. About 2 years ago, she stumbled across a rather different story. The song, initially known as One Horse Open Sleigh, was first performed in blackface in a minstrel show in Boston in September 1857. Okay, that is the detail I needed to know. Okay. I don't know if it's like, well, this is how you perform the song, or if that was just, well, yeah, it was you were in the South in 1857. Of course they were doing a show in blackface. Hamill published the findings in a peer-reviewed paper in September, noting that during the past 160 years, the song had become an example of music whose quote-unquote blackface and racist origins have been subtly and systemically removed from its history. It's kind of objectively true. I mean, how did I not know about this? I feel like that's the kind of shit I would know. The song was written by James Pierpont, who badly needed work after failing at several other professional ventures. Pierpont capitalized on the minstrel music and entered upon a safe ground of satirizing black participation in northern winter activities. Oh shit. So it's literally a song making fun of black people sleigh riding. I didn't know there was any sleigh riding going on for black people in Georgia, frankly, in slavery times, but I'm glad there was at least a little bit of fun, I guess. Last year, she detailed her findings to local media, yielding a front-page story in the Boston Globe and no backlash. This year, however, was a different story. Newest Christmas controversy has social justice warriors... Oh, you know, I'm gonna guess. I bet I know why that was allowed. I bet I know why why black people were allowed to slay. It wasn't having fun. It wasn't doing something fun or playing or anything like that. It was definitely races that people were betting on. Like, white people would bet on them. I guarantee it. It was a racing thing. It was like a race betting thing. I guarantee you, 100%. That just clicked for me. That's why that would have been happening. Because there's no way that, like, that was going on for fun back then. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, it was like betting on, like, races, like horse races. This year, however, was a different story. Newest Christmas controversy is social justice warriors claiming this classic holiday carol's racist, a Fox News host told viewers earlier this month. Breitbart warned that Hamill was urging people to shun the jaunty tune. Hamill said much reporting of her research was incorrect and laden with all sorts of absolutely absurd accusations. Quote, "It was obviously an easy way to bait and politicize Christmas," she said. Quote unquote, which seems to be what extreme political outlets want to do. She had never said that Jingle Bells was now racist, nor had she sought to discourage people from singing the tune, she pointed out. Still, the backlash was fierce. Her name soon became a hashtag on Twitter, racking up tweets as users opined on her findings. Hundreds of hate-laced emails filled her inbox. Others tried to reach her by phone or through social media. This is just how the right operates. It's foundationally centered around a hatred for all that is left. She replied to a few of the emails, at times receiving an apology. Despite the fact that a lot of the hate mail was really horrible, people just wanted to communicate and they're stuck in an echo chamber, she said. So I think people just want to be heard and nobody seems to be listening anymore. Ironically, the controversy has sent interest in her research on Jingle Bells soaring, placing it currently among the most read articles on Cambridge University Press. Hey, there you go. If anything, this irresponsible reporting has drawn more attention to an academic article that would usually just sit in a journal that very few would read, she said. Days into the backlash, she had no regrets about publishing the work. Quote, "I was doing what an academic does. I was trying to do the best research that I could and write it up. I did not have an agenda for Christmas, and that's for sure." There you go. So that's the true story behind this revelation they're referring to right now. So yeah, it turns out the guy in that post was not lying. Obviously, the joke of like taking off the hat and not celebrating Christmas anymore is a bit hyperbolic, but it's just that, a hyperbolic joke. But yeah, I mean, the point made in the video is 100% right.
It's a racist Christmas carol.
I mean, this is ridiculous. They've tried to take away every one of the Christmas holiday classics because they're just people who hate this country and they hate people being happy. And I encourage everybody out there to go celebrate.
What's so cringe about Fox News is they're so listened to and they're so lazy. Like, all they would have to do is read that article on their show that I found in 5 seconds of Googling. And they're too lazy or dishonest to do 5 seconds of Googling to find the complete clarification and truth of what that guy was talking about. Imagine if Fox News had any real journalists there. Oh, man.
Have good time with your friends and your family.
Hell, I'm not even saying, no, not even real journalists. I'm not a real journalist. I just Googled something and took 5 seconds to find the truth. Something that, for some reason, the quote-unquote real journalists at Fox News can't do.
Family. Laura, like you said, a lot of young men and young women looking for a purpose in life have been rediscovering religious faith. I think it's a fabulous thing. And Merry Christmas to everybody out there.
Merry Christmas, Clay. Give our best to Bacchus.
Have you ever heard a less sincere, more venomous Merry Christmas? Because they're like so filled with hate for the left and the woke as they say it. There's no joy or jolly in when they say Merry Christmas. Ironically, the right-wing politics make it impossible to truly enjoy Christmas because you're just so focused on hating your political opposition. You're not focused on the fact that it's that holly jolly time of year. Anyway, folks, if you enjoyed this segment, if you found it entertaining, educational, or enjoyable in any way, then please consider leaving a like and a comment down below. It really helps a lot. If you don't know what to say, comment Merry Christmas. If you don't know what else to say, it just helps to boost the video, and it'll tell me you watched all the way to the end. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more from me, and join my fan Discord if you want to be there for any cool future fan events I might be hosting, like watch parties and movie nights. I hope to see you around, and thank you for watching.